Today we will solve O-Level Physics 5054 Paper 1 Variant 1 October November 18 and questions from 21 to question number 40. From question 1 to question number 20 we have already solved. Now we have to start from 21. Question number 21. What is the approximate value for speed of light in air over speed of sound in air? Okay, speed of light in air is 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second and speed of sound in air is 3 into 10 power 2 meter per second. Now this 3 will be cancelled out by 3 and we will get the answer 10 power 6. So it is given in the option C. So option C is the correct one. The ratio is 10 power 6. Question number 22. What are the lowest frequency and the highest frequency of the sound that a human being normal hearing can hear? Okay, we have studied that audible range is 20 cycle per second to 20,000 cycle per second, or in other words we can say the range is from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So it is given in the option C. So option C is the correct one. Question number 23. Ultrasound has a number of uses in engineering and medicine. What is ultrasound not used for? Okay, first we read the options. Option A, cleaning. Option B, prenatal scanning. Option C, quality control. Option D, sterilizing medical equipment. Okay, we have studied that ultrasound is used for cleaning purpose. So option A is cleaning and option D is also related to cleaning. So option A and option D, ultrasound can be used for option A and option D. Now we have to check option C and option B. This option B is prenatal scanning. Prenatal scanning, we have studied that ultrasound is used for prenatal scanning. So this option is also used by the ultrasound. So the only remaining option is option C, quality control. We cannot use ultrasound for quality control, or we have not studied anything yet that we can use ultrasound for quality control. So option C is the correct one, that we cannot use ultrasound for quality control. Question number 24. Which diagram shows the electric field around an isolated point positive charge? Okay, here option A, B, C and D. In C and D, these are magnetic lines of force. These are showing magnetic lines of force. So option C and option D are out of question now. Now we have to check option A and option B. We have studied that in positive charge, electrical lines of force move away from the charge, and in negative charge, electrical lines of force move towards the charge. Here it is asked for the positive charge. So for the positive charge, lines of force will move away from the charge. So option B is the correct one. Question number 25. An electric field is formed by two isolated equal and opposite charges P and Q. Okay, here we have two charges P and Q and opposite charges. One is positively charged, one is negatively charged. How does the field X compare with the field Y? Here we have to compare the field at point X and at point Y. Okay, here at point X the field will be weaker as compared to Y because it is away from these two charges, and this point Y is in the line in the direction of the force. So we can say at point X the field will be weaker and at point Y the field will be stronger. Okay, now first we read our options. In option A, it is stronger at X. No, it cannot be stronger at X. Option B, it is stronger at X. Again, it is the same thing is written, so it cannot be. In option C, it is weaker at X. Yes, it is weaker at X than at Y and is in opposite direction. No, the lines of force start from the positive charge and moves towards the negative charge, so it cannot be in the opposite direction. Now option D is the remaining option. It is weaker at X than Y. Yes, it is weaker at X than Y and is in the same direction. Yes, it will be in the same direction, means from positive to the negative charge. So option D is the correct one. Question number 26. A positively charged rod is held close to an insulated metal sphere. The sphere is earthed. The earth connection is removed and then the rod is removed. Which diagram shows the charges on the sphere after the rod is removed? Okay, here we have a metal sphere. First we brought a rod that is positively charged near the sphere. When we will bring this rod near the sphere, electrons will flow from the earth towards the metal sphere because this positive charge attracts the negative charges. So negative charges will move from the earth and it will concentrate on the metal sphere. Now what happened? We have removed this earth wire and also we have removed this rod. So what will happen? The negative charge what are concentrated first at this side, they will be equally distributed in the metal sphere as shown in the option C. So option C is the correct one. Question number 27. The voltage across a resistor of fixed resistance changes. Which graph shows how the current in the resistor changes with the voltage? Okay, the topic is related with the Ohm's law. We have studied that if we plot a graph in between voltage and current, the graph will be a straight line and this straight line will represent resistance of the conductor. So same graph is shown in the option A. So option A is the correct answer. Here we have current and on the y-axis there is voltage. So this line will represent the resistance in the conductor. So option A is the correct one. Question number 28. A wire of length 0.5 meter and cross-sectional area of 1 into 10 power minus 6 meter square has a resistance of 0.75 ohm. Another wire of same material has a length of 2 meter and a cross-sectional area of 0.5 into 10 power minus 6 meter square. What is the resistance of the longer wire? Okay, here we have to calculate the resistance for the longer wire. To calculate the resistance of the longer wire, we have to use the formula R is equal to rho L over A, where this R is for resistance, this rho is for resistivity, this L is for length of the wire, this A is for cross-sectional area of the wire. Now in the data, value of resistivity is not given, so first we have to calculate the value of resistivity. How we will calculate the value of resistivity? We have given some values that a wire of length 0.5 meter and a cross-sectional area and resistance 0.75 ohm. So we are looking that it is given, we have given length, we have given area, we have given resistance. So with this data we can calculate the resistivity and the formula. We will use the same formula. R is equal to rho L over A. Resistivity will be equal to RA over L. R is 0.75. Cross-sectional area is 1 into 10 power minus 6 and this length is given 0.5 meter. Now by solving this one, we will get the answer. Resistivity is equal to 1.5 into 10 power minus 6. Now it is given here that both the wires are of same material. Since both the wires are of same material, so resistivity what we have calculated for the first wire, it will be also same for the second wire. Now we have to calculate the resistance of the second wire. So R will be equal to rho L over A. Resistivity we have calculated, it is equal to 1.5 into 10 power 6. Length of the second wire is given 2 meter and cross-sectional area of the second wire is given 0.5 into 10 power minus 6. Now by solving this one, we will get the answer 6 ohm. And it is given in the option D. So option D is the correct one. Question number 29. A battery of electromotive force EMF 10 volt is connected to a resistor. A charge of 2 coulomb passes through the resistor. How much work is done as the charge passes through the resistor? Okay, we have to calculate the amount of work done. Work done is a form of energy, so we can say work done is equal to energy. And for energy, we have studied a formula VIT. Electrical energy is given as VIT, where this V is for voltage, I is for current, and this T is for time. Okay, here we have given charge Q and voltage V. Current I is not given. Okay, what we will do here? We know that current is given as rate of change of law of electrical charges. that current is equal to Q over T, and from this equation we can write Q is equal to I into T. Now here in this formula, in place of I into T, we can replace I into T by Q, so we can write energy is equal to V into Q. Now we have voltage 10 volt and also we have charge 2 coulomb. So 10 multiplied by 2, it will be 20 joules, and it is given in the option D. So option D is the correct answer. Question number 30. Three identical resistors are joined in series to the cell. Okay, here we have a cell and here we have three resistors, and these resistors are identical resistors. Voltmeter Q reads 8 volt. Okay, here we have two voltmeter, one voltmeter P and second voltmeter Q, and in the voltmeter Q the reading is 8 volt. What is the reading on the voltmeter P and what is the EMF of the cell? It is asked what is the reading on this voltmeter P and what is the EMF of this battery. Okay, here we have two identical resistors and here voltage is 8 volt. So we can say since the resistors are identical, so voltage will be equal in both the resistor. Total voltage is 8 volt. So in each resistor there will be voltage of 4 volts. So in both resistors there is a voltage of 4 volt. There is 4 volt voltage. Okay, now this resistor is also identical to these two resistors, so we can say also in this resistor voltage will be 4 volt. So across this resistor voltage is 4 volt, and in the voltmeter that is connected across this resistor it will read 4 volt voltage. So we can say the reading in P, reading in the voltmeter P will be equal to 4 volt. Now what about the EMF here? Here voltage is 4 volt, here 4, total is 12 volt. So we can say this 12 volt is provided by this cell or by this battery. So we can say EMF of the cell is sum of these voltages, that is equal to 12 volt. Now we will check our options. In option B, it is given reading on P is 4 volt, it is correct, and EMF of the cell is 12 volt, it is also correct. So option B is the correct one. Question number 31. The power of an electrical heater is 3 kilowatt. The heater is switched on for a time of 2 hours and 3 minutes. The cost of using the heater for this time is 120 cents. What is the cost of 1 kilowatt hour of electrical energy? Okay, here we have to find out the cost of 1 kilowatt hour energy. Okay. First thing here, we have to find out total kilowatt hours. Here we have time given 2 hours and 30 minutes. This 2 hours and 30 minutes we can say it is equal to 2.5 hours. Okay, for kilowatt hours, here it is given kilowatt, it is given 3 kilowatt. Time is 2.5 hours. So we can say 3 into 2.5, it will be equal to 7.5 kilowatt hours. Okay, for this 7.5 kilowatt hours, total cost is equal to 120 cent. So we can write total cost of 7.5 kilowatt hour is equal to 120 cent. Now we have to calculate cost of 1 kilowatt hour. So cost of 1 kilowatt hour will be equal to 1 multiplied by 120 divided by 7.5, and by solving this one we will get the answer 16 cents, and it is given in the option A. So option A is the correct one. Question number 32. In a lighting circuit, the switch is placed in the live wire. Why is this? Option A. A lamp in the circuit can be isolated from the supply. Yes, it is the correct option. We use a switch in the live wire so that we can easily isolate it from the main supply. So option A is the correct one. Question number 33. A wire is placed in the magnetic field between the poles of a magnet as shown. Okay. Here we have a magnet, north pole, south pole, and a wire is placed in between these two poles of the magnet. When there is a current in the wire, it experiences a force which increases the size of the force. Okay, first we read the options. Option A. Reverse both the direction of the current and the poles of the magnet. Option B, reverse just the direction of the current. Option C, use a stronger magnet. Option D, use a thicker wire with the same current. Okay, first we check this one. Okay, we have studied that if we keep a wire in between the poles of the magnetic field, this wire will experience a force because of the magnetic field, and this force depends on these three things. The current is increased, the force will be increased. The stronger magnet is used, force will be increased. The length of the wire in the field is increased, the force will be increased. So out of these three options, now we have to check which option is given here. Out of the three options that just we have seen, only one option is given here: use a stronger magnet. Here it is given a stronger magnet is used, force will be increased. So our correct option is option C, use a stronger magnet. Question number 34. A 12-volt lamp glows at normal brightness when connected to the secondary coil of the mains transformer. The mains voltage is 240 volt. The transformer is 100% efficient and the primary coil has 200 turns. How many turns are there on the secondary coil? Okay, the topic is related with the transformer, and in the topic of transformer we have studied that the ratio for the secondary turns over primary turns will be equal to voltage in the secondary divided by voltage in the primary. Now we have to calculate number of turns in the secondary. It means we have to calculate N2. Now this N1 is the number of turns in primary coil. In number of turns in the primary coil, it is given 200. V2 is the output voltage. Output voltage is 12 volt, and input voltage, the mains voltage is 240 volt. This is input voltage, it is output voltage, and it is number of turns in the primary. Now all the values are given. By substituting the values, we will get the answer, N2 is equal to 10. So number of turns and number of coils in the secondary, it will be 10, and it is given in the option A. So option A is the correct one. Question number 35. Which row shows how the electrical energy produced by a power station is transmitted to distant towns? Okay, here we have to answer regarding the current and voltage. With regards to current and voltage, we have to answer this question. Okay, first we check this one. We have studied that electrical energy generated in the power station is transmitted at a very high voltage. Here this voltage is 400,000 volt. So voltage is very high, and normally the current is alternating current. We don't use normally DC current. So what is the answer here? Alternating current and very high. It is given in the option B. So option B is the correct answer. Question number 36. The diagram shows the trace on an oscilloscope screen. The first peak occurs when a pulse of sound is emitted. The second smaller peak is the echo received from the wall. The trace moves across the screen in a time of 24 milliseconds. How long does it take for the sound to travel to the wall? Okay, here sound is produced and echo is heard, and the distance in between these two is given 3 centimeter. So we can say this is the object that is producing sound, and it is the object that is hearing that sound, and total distance is equal to 3 centimeter. Now the distance from the wall to the sound producing object will be half of this distance and will be equal to 1.5 centimeter. Okay, here we have to calculate how long does it take for the sound to travel to the wall. Okay, first we should know what is the velocity of the sound, because we have studied a formula V is equal to S over T. Here we have S means distance, it is given 1.5, and to calculate time we should have also the value of velocity. But velocity is not given here. How we will calculate velocity? here it is given this distance is given 8 centimeter and the time taken to cover this distance 8 centimeter is 24 milliseconds. Now with the help of these data we can calculate the velocity. So velocity is given at distance over time. Distance is 8 centimeter, time is 24 milliseconds. So we can say velocity will be equal to 0.33 centimeter per millisecond. Now again we will use the formula V is equal to S over T. Now velocity we have it is 0.33 and also distance we have it is 1.5. Now by solving this one we will get the answer time is equal to 4.5 millisecond and it is given in the option A. So option A is the correct option. Question number 37. The diagram shows a nuclear reaction. The shaded particle are uncharged particle. Okay, what are the products shown in the reaction? Okay, it is asked, it is product of a reaction. It is asked what is meant by this one and what is meant by this one. Okay, it is given here the shaded particle are uncharged. We have studied three types of particle: electron, proton and neutron. On electron, it is negative charge. Proton, these are positively charged particle, and neutron, they have no charge. So we can say the shaded particle that is uncharged is neutron. So this particle is neutron. Now here we are looking, it is the combination of neutrons and protons. And we are looking here that there are two neutrons and two protons. One thing more, we have studied that number of protons is called atomic number and number of proton plus number of neutron it is called nucleon number or mass number. So we can say whatever be the object here, it has mass number 4 and it has atomic number 2. Now the object that has atomic number 2 and mass number 4, it is helium particle. So we can say here helium is produced and here neutron is produced. Now we will check our option. It is given in the option C, a helium nucleus and a neutron. So correct option is option C. Question number 38. The results of the alpha particle scattering experiment gave evidence for which of the following? Okay, the options. Option A, nuclear fusion. Option B, radioactive decay. Option C, the existence of isotope. Option D, the nuclear atom. Okay, during the experiment, it is the experiment shown here. In the experiment, we have find out the nucleus of the atom. So we can say option D is the correct one, the nuclear atom. We have discovered the nucleus during this experiment. So option D is the correct one. Question number 39. What does the alpha radiation given off by radioactive nuclei consist of? Okay, options. Option A, fast moving protons. Option B, helium nuclei. Option C, microwave. Option D, radio waves. Okay, we have studied in the topic of nuclear physics that these alpha particles are identical to nucleus of helium-4. So option B is the correct option, helium nuclei. Question number 40. One nucleus of uranium isotope contains 238 nucleons, of which 146 are neutrons. Okay, we have an isotope of uranium, nucleon number 238 and neutrons are 146. So what are the number of protons? It will be equal to 238 minus 146, 92. So we have 92 protons and 146 neutrons in this isotope of uranium. Okay, which is the nucleus of another isotope of uranium? What is meant by isotope? Isotope means same proton number but different neutron number. Now here we have given 4 options. In out of 4 options we have to find out in which option number of proton is same but number of neutron is different. Okay, here in the given isotope number of proton is 92. Now we will check first option. In first option, number of nucleon is 235, number of neutron is 143. Now we have to subtract 143 from 235 and we have got the answer 92. So in option A, we have found that here number of proton is 92. That is same to as the given isotope of the uranium atom. So we can say this one is the isotope of uranium because proton number is same but neutron number is different. Because here neutron number is given 146 and here neutron number is given 143 and it is the condition of isotope, so we can say option A is the correct one. In other option B, C and D, I have also calculated and you can check here that in all the other cases number of protons are different, number of protons are not same. So option B, C and D are not possible. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, today we have completed this 5054 paper 1 variant 1 October November 18. Thank you very much.